So the job market is very saturated today. And in a competitive market, you need every advantage you can get. Typically, you fill out an application, you hope to hear back in a few days. That might have worked in the past, but there's some things you can do that will push you to the front of the line and help you get seen without having to go through all the hoops. So let's hop right into it. The number one way to get a job in 2024, and actually, I honestly believe the number one way to get a job in general, is to have a friend or referral that already works for the company. A lot of companies have paid referral programs. And so what's great about that is your friend that refers you to the company is going to get compensated for bringing in new talent, which is really great. I've personally worked at companies and I haven't seen that referral be any less than $500. And some of them have been all the way up to $5,000. I would say before you apply, make sure your friend looks into if the company has a referral program first, so that way they're compensated for bringing you in and it doesn't look like you just filled out an application online. But with your friend recommending you, what's going to happen is the hiring manager is going to probably skip the phone screen. They're going to look at it. They're going to call you and be like, hey, I noticed that Susie recommended you for the stockroom lead position. And just like that, you've opened the door for conversation and your first interview. Now make sure you do right by your friend because typically there's requirements that need to be met for them to get their compensation. Usually it's about 6 months to 1 year of service from you at the company. But if you were to join a company and your performance was just stellar, that's going to propel not only you, but your friend in the eyes of management, and it could possibly even lead them to their next promotion. There's a lot of things we pay attention to in management, but attention to detail and being able to spot talent is definitely one of them, so keep that in mind. Because if you get the opportunity, why wouldn't you set your friend up for success? The next tip I have for you, and again, always fill out an application first, but find out who the hiring manager is and then go and meet them in person. You want to dress nice, not exactly interview nice, but at least business casual. And when you go to introduce yourself, you want to take a copy of your resume. So for instance, once you've identified who you need to talk to and you were to go in, you'd be like, hi Barry, my name is John. I just wanted to come and say hello. I recently put an application in online and I wanted to personally give you my resume just to let you know that I love the store. I've been shopping here for years and I look forward to the opportunity to interview with you. And so what will happen is the hiring manager is going to be taken back a little bit because they'll be like, when was the last time somebody dropped off an application to me in person? So they might ask you a few questions on the spot. And again, they're going to check to make sure you put an application in, because if the application is not in the system, there's literally nothing most companies can do at this point to get you hired. So make sure you put the application in before going to meet the hiring manager. And if they ask you, what made you want to drop off your application in person? I haven't seen that before. You just want to say something like, well, I always feel it's good to put a face to a resume. So just thought I'd come in and introduce myself. And let me tell you, if you nail that first impression, they are going to pull your application and review your resume probably that same day. I would expect a call within 1 to 2 business days if they're urgently hiring for the role. When I first got on the job hunt and I was looking at other opportunities, I used to frequent a coffee shop that, well, most of America probably goes to every day. But I knew the store manager because they saw me every day for like the last 10 years. And so I went in, I told them that I was looking, I dropped off my resume, and I was like, hey, if you can let your district manager know I applied, that'd be awesome. And you know what? I ended up getting a call back that same week. Now, the next tip is a little bit more technical, but this is really great, especially if you're trying to break into tech sales. The goal here is to do cold prospecting just as you would be when you're trying to find those new sales opportunities, except in this case, you're doing it for yourself. A lot of people just mass apply online, hoping to land a position on Indeed or LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter. But as I've mentioned before, the ATS, the applicant tracking system, is scanning your resume and it will automatically reject you if you don't meet certain requirements. And we don't have time for that now, do we? And this is how you bypass all of that. If you're aiming for a technical job or a medical job or any job really where AI is involved and you know that you're gonna have 3 or 4 different interviews and you don't know how to get in front of that hiring manager, the best way is to do your research and find out who you need to talk to. So a little career strat for you is to find out that person's email, and it could be the recruiter, the hiring manager, head of sales, could even be the vice president. And you're gonna reach out and you're gonna let them know, hey, I really love the company. I submitted an application. Here's why. Here's my cover letter. Here's my resume. I hope you can review it. Would love to chat sometime. Because most candidates, again, they just put in the application and hope for the best. If you reach directly out to these people that are always in front of their computers, there's a good chance they're gonna see it. Make sure you personalize your subject line to something that's going to catch their eye, because otherwise they're just gonna throw it out as if it's spam. I actually did this method quite a few times when I was on the job hunt, and I was getting those automatic rejection letters within 30 minutes to an hour because I didn't have a lot of experience in tech. But once I sent that message over to the recruiter, I would usually get a flip. I would get a message that say, hi, we reviewed your application and we would love to have an interview with you. And I'm like, how about that? And if you're really confident, pick up the phone and have a conversation with them. That's gonna totally throw them off. They're gonna be like, whoa, this person just called us out of the blue. They wanted to let us know they put in an application. I'm gonna look this person up. So send an email, make a phone call, let them know you applied. It's gonna blow them away, especially if you're breaking into tech sales, because one of the main things we do is reach out to prospects cold. So they're not expecting that conversation. But if you're demonstrating to a hiring manager that you have those type of skills and you're able to hold a conversation out of the blue, heck yeah, you're gonna get the interview. When I finally did leave retail, I wasn't on the market long, but one of the things that I also noticed was use a cover letter. A cover letter lets you let the company know your why you wanna work there and how you're gonna impact their company. I never really used them until I started getting into tech, and it makes a world of difference. When they read that personalized touch, and keep it short, it should only be like 3 or 4 paragraphs and just 1 page. Include that with your resume, because your resume is your highlights, your accolades, what you did for your career. But that cover letter lets you personalize as to why you want to work for that company, which is something that you'll explain during the interview process. But if they see it in writing and they see your passion there, it's going to generate even more interest. If you have some tips that I missed, post them below because I love to hear about it. And for steps on passing your first interview, check out this one.